Hey guys, and welcome back. So I'm super excited to announce my friend Nicole has opened her shop. It's called The Mixed Palette, and I'm so happy for her. She has MDF kits, substrates, and so much more. You're going to be able to find her all over social media. You can find her on Instagram at the Mixed Palette _MDF, on Facebook, The Mixed Palette and Friends. You can email her and find her online at themixedpalette.com. You're not going to want to miss the amazing pieces she has available for us mixed media artists. Let me tell you. Today, I'm going to be working on this amazing steampunk corset. As soon as I saw this design, I was in love. So it has a corset base, and then the top pieces for the corset, and then some buckles and extra gears to go along to add to the corset. Her kits are, and I'm not just saying this because she's my friend, but her kits are like the bomb. She has so many extra goodies that come along with these kits. They're just insane because her creativity is craziness. So we're going to jump right into it. I got this Decoupage Queens Sheila's Black Harlequin rice paper along with some black and gold Harlequin rice paper. And I'm going to start with just wetting down and tearing off the white border of the rice paper. And that's just going to give me that rough edge. And I'm just going to go through and tear off all the edges. You can see my MDF corset looks a little rough because I originally thought I was going to cover this piece with a piece of scrapbook paper, and then I completely changed my mind, so I tore it off. I'm going to attach it with some Liquitex matte medium. You can use a gel medium. You can use Collage Podge. You could use Mod Podge. I just had matte medium on hand, so that's what I decided to use. And as soon as I saw this design when Nicole showed me, I thought, obviously it's a steampunk design, but I thought to grunge the hell out of it. I right away thought Harlequin pattern, I thought chains, I thought gears and metal, and my mind just went crazy. So we're going to start on the background with the rice paper, and like I said, I'm going to use the matte medium to lay the rice paper down. And then I'm going to cover the top of it with some more matte medium. And then I'm just going to use my hands and tear off the excess from the edges. And then also, and more in her shop, she has these amazing pokey tools that she makes by hand. She has these available in her shop as well. And I use them literally all the time. And I have 100 pokey tools in my studio. And these are the ones that I grab, for everything. So use them just to get in the little bits and corners that I couldn't get in otherwise. So I'm going to use my Ranger embossing pad and some aged spice embossing powder. I thought I was going to use the other embossing ink, but I ended up not needing it. So I'm going to take the extra bits that came in the kit, and I'm going to press them down into my embossing pad. And obviously you can tell I don't care if I get any schmutz on my embossing pad because I'm a mixed media artist. I use it for everything, so I'm not careful with my pad. So, if I get any crust on it it's whatever. So I coat them all with the clear embossing ink, and then I cover them with the embossing powder. And then I'm going to shake off all the excess embossing powder, tap off anything extra, set them aside, and then save, excuse me, save my extra embossing powder, put that back in the jar, because you know we don't waste that. And then I'm going to heat emboss and melt all of this. And it just gave it, on top of that MDF, it picked up, it melts so nice. And then after it melted, like it gave it like this bronzy metallic look. And you can still see like her cuts are beyond amazing. Even with all that thick embossing powder on there, you can still see the details of all the cuts. So, I mean, you can like look at, like, you could see all the little notches and everything in those buckles. So, okay, in these pieces, there's the notches, like, and this is what I'm talking about, even more detail. So I'm going to take my pokey tool again, and she knows I love Beetlejuice, so, like, she made this for me, like, special colors. But anyways, I'm going to take my pokey tool, and I'm just going to scrape, because I have, like, a crazy amount of matte medium on here. So I'm just going to scrape, and I'm, like, holding it up to the light so I can see, because I'm blind as a bat. I'm going to scrape along that cut line, just to give it a little more definition, because I didn't want to lose that detail, and just define that a little bit. Scrape that rice paper away from those cuts. So then I'm going to use my go-to cheapy black acrylic paint and darken up the edges, because again, I was like super grungy, super dark feel for this piece. I'm just going to use a makeup sponge and excuse me, go around all the edges on all the pieces, and I'm covering all the gears that are on the background piece of this also. Even though I'm going to add gears that came in the kit, I'm going to add the gears to it, I still wanted the base covered. So now I'm going to use my Wink of Stella brush. This is a black Wink of Stella, and I couldn't even tell you the last time I've used the Wink of Stella, but I wanted just a little bit of sparkle. And y'all know that I am not a glittery, sparkly kind of chick, but I felt like it needed a little bit of sparkle, but of course it had to be black. So I'm just going to go like in a diagonal pattern, with the diamonds, and I'm just going to trace over them and just fill in some of them. And then in the opposite pattern, I'm just going to outline the diamond pattern. I'm not going to fill them in on this background piece. And then, I mean, that just came out so cool. So then on the top layer, I'm just going to outline just some random ones, just to make the two pieces match a little bit. And I'm not doing a complete, excuse me, I'm not doing a complete outline. I'm doing it real light, almost feathered like, so it's kind of faded into the background a little bit, but yet still there. So those are done. And then I have some matte gel from Liquitex, and I have these two heavy gears from Mitform, that I'm going to put at the top of the back piece of this corset. And I'm going to line them up, because of course I couldn't help but to put metal on this corset. I mean, you'll see towards the end of the video, like, I thought I hit record and I didn't, and I just like went to town with adding everything. I added like all the metal in my studio to it. So I'm going to add them, and they were like the perfect fit for the top of this corset. And then I'm just cleaning up the extra matte gel that I had sticking out. So I wanted some dimension for the top layer of the corset. So I'm just going to cut some cardboard that I had laying around. Just cut some strips out of this cardboard to add to the back of the top layers of the corset. Add some more of that matte gel. You can use any kind of adhesive you want. I'd stay away from hot glue only because over time hot glue will break down and it'll fall apart. Hot glue always does. So I tend to like using matte gels or heavy body gels or even Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac would work good. That's another one of my go-tos. So, I mean, you can see I have two or three layers of cardboard under there, so it's like super, super thick. I definitely, like, I wanted a lot of dimension. Okay, so now back to the extra bits. I had some of the black acrylic left on my palette, and so I'm just going to cover all of those extra bits just to get in all those little nooks and crannies. There was so much detail cut into all of those pieces that I really wanted to highlight them. Like you could still see them through the embossing, but I really wanted to highlight them. So I took the black acrylic paint and I just brushed it over all of them real heavy. And then I'm just taking a baby wipe and slowly, not slowly, real lightly dabbing away at it. So the black gets in all the little nooks and crannies and all the really cool cuts. So you can see all the detail really pops out. Okay, so now that everything's dry, this gear I really wanted to stick underneath. I didn't want to put it on top. So I'm just taking a gel pen and lining it up and seeing where I needed to cut it so it would fit perfectly underneath. And I'm just taking my Tim Holtz scissors and cutting. And I mean, the MDF is like super duper sturdy. But I mean, you know, with these Tim Holtz scissors, like you could cut metal with these bad boys. So it cut nicely for me. It really did. So, and then it fit perfectly. Like, it was just perfect. So then I'm going to take some foam strips, or some foam tape and some Fabri-Tac. And I cut the foam tape super skinny. But again, I wanted more dimension. So that's why I'm using foam tape. Because you can see the cutout on the edge of the bottom of the corset. But I wanted the gear to stick up from there. So I used the foam tape. But my foam tape was like super old, so I didn't know how sticky and permanent it was going to be. So I used the Fabri-Tac as well to make sure that it would be permanent and stay on there forever. So I got the dimension and then I got the sturdiness. And then I have some glass glitter because sometimes, you know, the glue oozes out and that's a good way to hide any excess glue that oozes out. And then it adds a little more sparkle without being super glittery. So you can see I added all the gears around the edges, and then I'm going to add the buckles. And I'm just going to add them down the center of the corset. And I'm using my Fabri-Tac for that. And again, anywhere that glue might have oozed out, because sometimes I get a little heavy-handed, I just used the glass glitter glue, or the glass glitter glue. I just used the glass glitter to cover that up. So then I had these little studs, and I have some metal gears and tons of embellishments. You see I have some chains hanging there. And so I started recording, and I'm using some Rapid Fuse 30-second glue. The stuff like a Rapid Bond, I can't even remember what it's called. It's literally like it bonds anything. It's made by DAP, D-A-P. That glue is insane. So this is where I thought I hit record and I didn't. And I apologize for that. But once I started adding the metal, dude, like I didn't stop. Like I added the studs, I added the chain, I added gears, I added the screw heads. Like I just went to town. Um, and then I added some of the patina gears, but I fell in love. I was absolutely in love with how this turned out. Um, and honestly, I couldn't have done it without Nicole's corset kit. It it was perfect. So I really hope you guys like it. I just know. Listen, you guys need to head over to her shop. The hype has been there. We have been talking it up for months now. I know she has worked her ass off to get this shop up and going, and you will not be disappointed. Once you see her pieces, once you see what she's got available, you will not be disappointed. I will have all the links in the description box below. Go check it out. Go show her some love. Go get you some pieces to work on. And make sure to join the Facebook group. Check her out on Instagram. And let me know what you think. And let us know. Look, go check her out. It's awesome. You'll love it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.